Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary General. Thank you, first of all, for invitation. It's a big honor to visit NATO headquarters again. We discussed already, it's my second time in this building, but the seventh time I'm visiting NATO headquarters. And this all actually shows the dynamism of our cooperation. Thank you for your words about our contribution to the Resolute Support Mission. Azerbaijan proved to be a reliable partner of NATO. We started our peacekeeping duties in Afghanistan in 2002 and ended in the end of August this year, and Azerbaijan military servicemen were among the last military servicemen of coalition forces who left Afghanistan. And of course, it's a great experience of working together. Today, we also discussed our future plans of cooperation. Azerbaijan participates in NATO's military training. At the same time, with one of the active and leading NATO members, Turkey, we had 7 joint military trainings only this year. And this actually is serving the cause of peace and stability in the region. We discussed with Mr. Secretary General the post-war situation in the Southern Caucasus. Azerbaijan is committed to peace, to stability and predictability, and our efforts are aimed at the minimization of risks of any new war in the region. For that purpose, the best way is to open communications, to establish active dialogue, and to learn to be neighbors again. Our policy is very open and straightforward, and I hope that if there is a goodwill from Armenian side, we can start, as we proposed, working on a peace agreement between two countries and to put an end to hostility. Also, with Mr. Secretary General, we discussed energy security issues in the region. I informed Mr. Secretary General that today Azerbaijan is a reliable supplier of natural gas to 4 NATO members, and I'm sure that in the coming years a number of them may grow. It's also important for regional stability, security, because energy security already is part of national security of the countries. In general, we are very glad of having this high level of interaction with NATO, and we are very glad that NATO appreciates our efforts, and we agreed today to continue joint efforts for the benefit of the region and the security in the world. So thank you very much for the invitation once again.
Rika Josvia, ready for Europe. Questions for both of you, starting with Mr. Aliyev. Mr. Aliyev, you mentioned relations with Armenia, and one of the issues is the Zangezur corridor. Would you accept Armenians' custom checks in that corridor, or what is the idea for Azerbaijan for this one? And also, can I also ask, you will meet with Mr. Pashinyan and Mr. Michel later today, you have dinner with them. You are bound to sign some sort of declaration on connectivity. What does that mean exactly? Can you mention what sort of connectivity issues you can have with Armenia? And for Mr. Stoltenberg, a Russian official today talked about a moratorium on missiles, intermediate missiles. Do you see this, is this some sort of olive branch, or do you think it would be better to perhaps go back to the INF treaty that Russia walked away from? Thank you.
On Zangezur corridor, I'd like to say that the proposal of opening of this part of communication in the region is reflected in trilateral declaration signed on November 10 last year by President of Russia, Prime Minister of Armenia, and myself. So it's a kind of obligation for Armenia to provide all the necessary facilities, though it was not easy during this more than 1 year to move forward. At this stage, we achieved an agreement on building the railroad connection from Azerbaijan through Armenia to Nakhichevan Autonomous Republic, and also agreement on construction of the highway. But the exact route of the highway has not yet been identified. It's a matter of future discussions, and we will definitely discuss it this evening on a trilateral meeting hosted by Mr. Charles Michel. With respect to the legal regime of the Zangezur corridor, it should be exactly the same as Lachin corridor, because in trilateral statement it clearly says that Azerbaijan provides security and unimpeded access for connection between Karabakh and Armenia should provide the same unimpeded access and security for connections between Azerbaijan and the Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic. So today, there are no customs on Lachin corridor there. Therefore, there should be no customs on Zangezur corridor. If Armenia would insist of using the custom facilities to control the cargoes and people, then we will insist on the same on Lachin corridor. This is logical, and the decision is to be made by Armenia. We are ready for both options, either no customs on both or both customs on the two. And with respect to connectivity, it's really a big opportunity for the region to integrate the regional transportation links because Zangezur corridor is not only for us to get access to Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic, but also for Armenia to get a railroad connection with Iran through Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic. It's for Armenia to get a railroad connection with Russia through the territory of Azerbaijan. Today they don't have this railroad connection. So it really will create a special positive atmosphere in the region and a win-win situation for everyone. Therefore, I think that the evaluation of these opportunities is very important, the proper evaluation, important in order to plan our peaceful future. But again, we are ready. We already made several public statements that we want to turn the page of hostility and work on peace agreement. Today's meeting with Mr. Pashinyan and with Mr. Michel will clarify a lot.